to question 8. Question 8 is asking, what is long division? Long division relates to dividing large numbers and using estimates. Well, we're going to combine everything that we've learned so far, right? So using long division is kind of a combination of multiplication and division, okay, subtraction as well, and dropping place values and staying organized with our place values. So we're going to say 50. All right, that's our divisor. We're going to draw this little house here, and within the little house, we're going to have the dividend within the little house. So it's going to be 10,000. And this is kind of how we can successfully divide large numbers here. Large numbers. All right. We're going to partially evaluate this here, right? So we're going to take 50. And we're going to say 50 goes into 1 how many times? Well, 50 can't go into 1, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to the next place value. How about 10? Well, 50 can go into 10 comfortably. We still have more place values to play with here, right? But how about 100? Can 50 go into 100? Yes. Right, so now we know where to start. All right, we're gonna take 100 here, right? And how many times does 50 go into 100? Well, 50 can go into 100 twice. All right, so we're gonna place this 2, and notice that I placed the 2 on top of the ones place value of 100. All right, that's key. All right, because we have to stay organized, right? Now, the next step here is to multiply 50 by this 2 that I just placed on top of the zero of 100. Excuse me. 50 times 2, well, that's going to give us a product of 100. Now, we're going to place that 100 right underneath whatever we just attempted, the value that we just attempted to partially break down, okay? And we're going to find the difference. We're going to start subtracting. So 100 minus 100 equals 0, all right? After we've successfully found the difference, we are going to go to the next place value and we're going to drop it down. All right. So we're going to drop this 0, right? Now let's evaluate 50 with this value here, right? So how many times does 50 go into 0? Well, it's going to go in 0 times. But instead of going to the next value, we're going to place another 0 on the right side of the 2 on top of the little house. There we go, another 0. The next step here is to evaluate that 0 with 50. And we're gonna use multiplication, right? So 50 times 0, the 0 right next to the one that we just placed on top of the 2, right? How much is 50 times that 2? Well, it's going to equal 0, right? And we're going to place 0 as the next difference on the next level. Here we go. So 0, 0, 0, 0. And we're going to find the difference here, right? So what is 0 minus 0? Well, it's 0. So we're going to take all these zeros and we're going to place the zeros. Now the next step is to go to the next place value of the 10,000. We're going to drop that place value, which just so happens to be 0. So we're going to drop that 0. Now let's evaluate that place value. How many times does 50 go into 0? 0. So we place another 0 on top of the right next to the 20 that we've already solved for, right? Giving us a quotient of 200. All right, and after that, there's really no more place values that we can drop, so the quotient is 200. All right, so ultimately we're saying 10,000 divided by 50 gives us a quotient equals 200. All right, now let's check our answer. Recall that a few videos prior I stated that multiplication is the opposite of division, and we use multiplication to check our division. All right, and so we have 200 times 50. All right, so 200 times 50. All right, here we go. So 0 times 0 is 0. Now let's go ahead here. Let's say 0 times another 0. Well, that's another 0. All right. How about 2 times 0? Well, that's another 0. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Let's evaluate the 5 here, right? 0 times 5. How much is that? Well, that's a 0. We just put it right there. All right. How about 0 times 5? Once again, well, that's another 0. That explains this 0. And how about 2 times 5? Well, that's going to give us 10. And so we're going to go ahead and place 10 right here, right? Let's go ahead and add this time. All of our zeros stay in contact with our place values, and we get a product of 10,000 here. And we can state here that this statement is true because we got our ultimate dividend of 10,000 from our original long division problem. All right, and that's how we can successfully divide vertically.